Americans have had enough gun violence, enough of politicians and people spewing hate, enough of gun policies that make it so easy for hateful people to get their hands on weapons and perpetrate carnage like we saw in Orlando, enough of 90 Americans killed every single day in this country. So this concert is the start of a movement to not just offer prayers and thoughts when there's another horrific shooting, but to actually take action. And we all know that the action that is the most important we can take is coming up in November. We need to vote.
No justice.
No peace. Our problems run deep. Don't be an American. Speak your mind, but shell the ranch. Shots fired. Settle the score. Shots fired. I'm not sure what for. Shots fired. It's more than a meme.
An argument
becomes a crime scene. Shots fired. It's no video game. Shots fired. And you're never the same. Shots fired. One bullet tears a family apart. Shots fired. Oh, shots fired. Oh, no, shots fired.
Now, folks, I asked to play but a small role in this. And the role I want to play is that a bill that I have been introducing in the Virginia General Assembly for several years now, I want for final passage. And that bill will be background checks. When we talk about what can we do to stem gun violence, one of the things we can do is to keep guns out of the hands of violent people. Make sense? We can keep the guns out of the hand of felons. Does that make sense? And what about somebody that you want to allow on an airplane? Should we allow that person to buy a gun? There is, in fact, common sense ways to stem the public health crisis that we have related to gun violence. And those kind of things can be elected in the legislature. Your legislator needs to hear from you. I'm committed to continuing my work, but I want you to make sure when you go back home that you talk to the people you send to the Virginia legislature, be it the House of Delegates or the Senate, to ensure that they likewise will support not taking away the Second Amendment, not taking away people's guns, but common sense gun safety measures that will save lives. We can do it.
Get up in the morning and do right. Everybody, don't you get up, you're gonna do wrong. Get up in the morning and do right. All day, play it, Marcy. Toys you think you need. Substitute some kindness for all of that greed. So a little happiness in your own field. Come on, children, come on now. Everybody, up in the morning and do right. Don't you get up, you're gonna do wrong. Get up in the morning and do right. All day long. Well, there's a man downtown. He's sleeping on a crate. Woman's got cuts and bruises all on her face. Little baby child needs a refuge place. Come on, children, come on now. Now get up in the morning and do right. Don't you get up, you're gonna do wrong. Get up in the morning and do right. Ah, last time. Get up in the morning and do right. Don't you get up, you're gonna do wrong. Get up in the morning and do right. All day long. Thank you so much.
My name is Eddie Weigert. I'm a survivor of gun violence and an activist for gun violence prevention. In the early evening of Sunday, February 22nd, 1981, my mother's soon-to-be ex-husband came to our house, intoxicated and in a rage. After over an hour of his drunken abuse, he went to went to his pickup truck to pick up a shotgun that he'd brought with him. My mother saw this and ran towards me. Before she could reach me, he cocked and fired his shotgun, blasting her in her back. Her lifeless body fell to the ground just mere feet away from me. And he then walked over pressed the barrel of the shotgun against my mouth, attempting to fire it several times. If it hadn't been for a malfunction in the gun's firing mechanism, I wouldn't be here speaking with you this evening. I can still see and smell her blood pooling around me. I was only 2.5 years old when she was taken from me, and my life was forever changed. I grew up with acute PTSD, and my life is still haunted by extremely vivid flashbacks of that deadly day. I became an activist for the gun violence prevention movement in my early teens, and over the years I've heard far too many stories of pain and despair from other survivors. Many of us have fortunately found comfort in taking action together, while at the same time taking turns crying on each other's shoulders. We belong to a term that has been coined, the club that nobody wants to be a member of.
Please tell me, baby, please tell me now. You say that I should just go on. Now please tell me how. Now it's just me in the night. I'm so broken hearted. I just wait in the dark here for my dearly departed. Does my ring burn your finger? My love weigh you down? Was a promise too much to keep around?
I am the sister of a murdered brother. Just like Donna, who's sitting right in here, who I met tonight, who shared her story with me, we are here fighting against gun violence, against the proliferation of guns in our society, where no one is required to be responsible for a gun. We're all here for the same reason, because we want a community where our children can grow up and be safe and have a healthy life and know that somebody's not going to come down the street, you know, a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old who's taken a gun out of dad's drawer beside the table and thinks he can play with it and create a tragedy that never ends. Because Donna and I can both tell you that that tragedy never ends. It is something that there is no closure. There is no getting over it. It is something that is a reality in our lives every single day. And so I promise you, every day that I am serving in the House of Delegates in Virginia, that I will have one issue every single year that I am attacking and attacking and attacking, and that is to prevent gun violence.
There are pieces that were broken. There are pieces that were lost. There are pieces that were stolen. There are pieces that were torn. And there's smoke around the corner. And there's cracks along the wall. And it won't be too long now, for this place is gonna blow. Said it won't be too long now, for this place is gonna blow. That canary in that coleman, that canary in that coleman, that canary in that coleman. Say to the night, 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 night. Thank you.
The simpleton men are paraded around with their weapons of mass compensation, protecting themselves from the grannies and kids in the restaurants and stores of our nation. But it's nobody's fault. It's never their fault. The names they don't recognize, but it's pumped up with power and pride. With ears that can't hear and eyes that are blind, they stumble in darkness and fall for the lies. We've got an army and a national guard, so there's your militia now. Why is that hard? Nobody's come to take your guns away. The evil's in the heads of the NRA.
My daughter Mary was one of 32 students and faculty who were shot to death on the campus of Virginia Tech on April 16, 2007. I sat in the Senate chamber when the last effort at national level common sense gun legislation died in 2013, killed by votes of senators who were more beholden to the wishes and money of the gun lobby than to the people they were supposed to represent. Large majorities of Americans of all stripes support solutions like universal background checks, and at the state level we've had some notable successes in the last several years. But in order to get to where we need to be, more must be done. What does that mean? It means every one of us needs to contact our representatives, our senators, our state lawmakers, and demand action. We need to encourage our friends, family, and co-workers to do the same. And if our elected officials are unable to do what needs to be done, we can't be afraid to help them find new employment.
Yes.
Lord, put my guns in the ground. I can't use them anymore. A long black cloud is coming down. Feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. We changed the words to a John Lennon song here, ladies and gentlemen. I know John won't mind. We know we lost John to a gun. And to an idiot behind a gun, not so much the gun.
There's no weapon. It's easy if you try. No guns to kill.
Child that never meant no harm. Still the burden that matters is the right to carry that on. Everybody. From Newtown to my town, it's time to lay them all down. Let the voices join the chorus of the children buried under the ground. Tell the fathers, tell the orphans, tell the mothers who are living in fear, tell the law who hear that change is coming round. From the up that tower to the pulse that feeds their fears. Through eyes of grief and for too many years. There's no right to take tomorrow, but we know who rules today. And the damage that's done is never gonna go away. From New Town to my town, it's time to lay them all down. Let the voices join the chorus of the children buried under the ground. Tell the fathers, tell the orphans, tell the mothers who are living in fear. Tell all who hear that change is coming round. Yeah, sitting in the classroom, sitting in a picture show. Standing on a corner, sleeping in our homes. Walking right beside us, standing our right to be free. If you can't life, then what good is liberty? Tell me, people. From New Town to my town, it's time to lay them all down. May your voices join the chorus of the children buried under the ground. Tell the fathers, tell the orphans, tell the mothers who are living in fear. Tell all who hear that change is coming.